What's all good, everybody? Good to see you again. Glad everybody's here. Doing something a little bit different again. I've been looking at a bunch of different genres, and I've been in kind of a metal mood lately. So I was like, well, let me go check out what the Christian metal scene looks like right now. Haven't checked it out in a while. Um, so it looks kind of interesting. Like there's a lot of interesting stuff going on right now, and I got into it. Like I spent a few hours just like listening to some songs, and took me back to some arguments I used to have with my dad when I was growing up. I grew up a preacher's kid, and my dad and I, if we ever didn't see eye to eye on anything, it was definitely music. I have been a rock and roll fan and a headbanger since I found out what it was. Um, Ever since I heard Trooper by Iron Maiden, I was into it, and he just didn't understand it at all. And of course, all metal was bad. So he tempered that by actually introducing me to Christian rock, which I didn't even know existed, with a band called Petra, way back in the early 80s. The first album I think I heard from them was Not of This World. I think that was the first one. And then a few more over the years. They've done a ton of them. They're currently on their 50th anniversary tour. Um, and Petra kind of got me in. Striper came along. Striper ended up being like the first rock concert that I ever went to. I was 15, I believe. And they were playing in North Little Rock, Arkansas. They played in a junior high school theater. And I was about 3 rows back, standing up on the seats, and this was the Soldiers Under Command tour, and no, Yellow and Black Attack. It was the first one, Yellow and Black Attack, and I could not hear for 3 days after that concert. That was, I mean, you talk about an introduction to rock and roll. It was pretty awesome. Just stacks right in front of me. I can still see Sweet, the drummer. Michael Sweet's the lead singer. I can't remember his brother's name, but Sweet, he was the drummer, and they had him set up in profile, kind of like with a cage, but he was playing in profile, and I always thought that was so cool. Of course, they were dressed all in yellow and black. That just made them look even harder, and so I've always been a fan of Christian metal, as long as it was good. Some bands come, some bands go, some are good, some are not. I'm always looking for the next one, just to see, if you can bring it. And, some been there, Thousand Foot Crutch lately. Bands like Skillet have come across and actually crossed over into mainstream, just showing how good they are, and showing that even with a positive message and a Christian message, music is good, and people react to good music regardless of what they think about your personal beliefs. And I've always felt that, there's a lot of good music out there that I don't personally philosophically or thematically believe in, but there's still a lot of good music out there. So I was like, all right, well, let me see. I went to christianrock.net and looked at their top 10. Saw Wolves at the Gate. I've heard of them before. They've got quite a few views on YouTube, and decided to check out this one that's called Peace That Starts the War. It's been out since February. It only has about 1,200 views on it, so it's not really hugely popular. It's off their album Eulogies. I don't know if this is actually it is a release because it's in the top 10 right now. And I'm like, well, I'll just go ahead and check that one out. I actually listened to some of the other stuff in the top 10. Some of it was good. Some of it was like, some interesting stuff going on over there. Gold, Frankincense, Myrrh, the GFM girls. Those girls are killing it. And I was going to do a review on them, a reaction to them, and ended up like watching all their videos. And I'm like, oh, I can't do a reaction if I've already like seen it. So I'm waiting for them to come out with a new single so I can review it, because I'm like, if you haven't heard of GFM, if you haven't heard of Gold, Frankincense, Myrrh, like, you need to check them out. 3 girls from Jacksonville, Florida. It's called, they're you've heard of hardcore, metalcore. This is beautycore. I've never heard 3 girls rock that hard in my entire life. I would put them up against the Runaways. I'm not joking. Like, they are bringing it. So check them out if you get a chance. In the meantime, we're going to check out Wolves at the Gate, piece that starts the war. I need to bring up some lyric. Well, this is actually, I believe this is actually lyric video. So we're going to check it out. So without any further ado, this is Wolves at the Gate. Wow. Love it. Man. I'm like listening to the music, I'm listening to the lyrics, I'm listening to music, I'm listening to the lyrics. Scratching and clawing, these voices fight for my life, they're saying. This is who you are. You're a fake, you're a sham, you aren't fooling no one. No one can condemn you for a debt or a crime that's been paid off. Nothing divides or separates. Basically, even as a Christian, you're constantly under attack. You're constantly being faced with, like, you're not good enough. The enemy is constantly attacking you, saying, oh, you think you're goody two shoes. Oh, you think you're good. You think you're this. You think you're that, and you're not. You're fake. We know it's behind you. Everybody has those. The past. They're a past that they're ashamed of in some way, and the enemy loves to bring it up and make you feel worthless because of it. He says, cut me open till it all runs dry, kill the life of death that's in my eye. That's a great imagery there. Kill the life of death that's in my eye. So you have this living death in your eye. You see this living death of it all leads in with, like, these voices telling you that you're worthless, but you can't be condemned for or pay off this debt. He said, that's already been paid off. You can't condemn me for a crime that's already been paid off, right? Because God paid that debt. So when you cut me open till it all runs dry, take all the blood, kill the life of death that's in my eye, like this wanting to die, this mortal essence that we are always faced with. Kill the life of that, right? Open up my aching ribs and crush this stone until it truly lives. He's talking about his heart being stone and crushing it until it's alive and it's beating and it's flesh. This is the peace that starts the war when you let God take control of that and break your heart and mold it. When you feel that peace, when you're that content, that's when you're ready to go to war against the enemy. Now you're armed for battle. Great imagery. I love it. Screaming and growling, these voices fight for their life, they're claiming. So, okay, so if I still on, they're telling you help is retreating, you're all alone. You're lost all alone with a hope that's dead and conquered, right? You're dead and alone with, you have no backup, you have nothing on your side just give in. But conquered is the name that's placed on the hell that waited for me. Not that waits for me, that waited for me. Because Christ died and conquered hell, conquered death. Death is dead and loosens its grip. So no, I'm not all alone. No, there is hope. And this battle we're getting ready to go against, this war we're getting ready to have, is not just the enemy against me. It's not just the enemy against you. It's the enemy against God who fights for us. Brilliant lyrics. Brilliant.
Cut me open till it's over time. Kill the life of death that's in my eyes. Open up my aching ribs and crush this stone until it's all I left. That's the pain that's not the why.
Nice. I love it, man. I love it. It's good. It's good to know that there's good music being made out there in the Christian rock realm. I've heard so much lately that it's just like great lyrics, but the music just falls short, or good music and the lyrics just fall short. That was awesome. The lyrics I loved in that were challenging. I'm not working at like full capacity tonight. I've got like this head cold thing trying to take over. But those lyrics were just amazing. I just love the imagery behind it, you know? That, you know, you have all these attacks by the enemy, but and they're just incessant. They don't stop. Even if you're saved and you're a Christian, they don't stop. If you're not saved, you don't. It's kind of hard to explain that, but you find a sense of peace and contentment because you know that, like Paul told us in the Bible, you know, to live as Christ, but to die as gain. So we fight, and we fight this life for Christ. And if we die, we fought the way He wanted us to fight. We fought in His name, and then we live with Him forever in eternity. So we're ready for that fight. We're ready for that war, and we're full of peace about it. We're not anxious about it because He gives us that peace. He's already conquered death. So we have nothing to worry about. We don't have to worry about that hell because He's already conquered that hell. Really great song, man. I love it. I'm going to have to check out the rest of that album. That album's called Eulogies by Wolves at the Gate. So if you get a chance, check it out. I'll definitely be leaving links in the description. And I appreciate you guys stopping by and checking this out. Give it a shot. You never know. In the meantime, please check out my other stuff over here. More music you may not have heard of. Got some really crazy stuff lately that's really awesome. So please check it out. In the meantime, I hope I'll see you guys again later. Love you. See ya.